Welcome back to Mr. Foreman's workshop, where in this segment we're going to be swapping out the suspension bushes on a radius arm. And there's 4 radius arms, 2 at the front, 2 at the back, and what they do is they attach to either end of the axle and they stop it from moving forward or back. They keep it right there. Now each radius arm is attached via 3 points, 2 on the axle, front and behind, and then the third point, of course, goes to the chassis. Now in a previous video where we swapped out the Watts linkages on the rear of the vehicle, discerning viewers may have noticed that the bushes were already done on the radius arms there. What that was all about was I was trying to have an understanding of what I was talking about before we started this video here. A novel concept, I have to admit, but you know, do like to mix it up a little. We have the wheel off, and of course the axle is on a stand, but just for a little extra protection. I don't know if it's necessary or not, but we also have the chassis on an axle stand as well, just to make sure everything's stable as we get underneath the vehicle. Before we can proceed, I do see an issue with one of these steering arms. The small amount of clearance as it sits below the radius arm on both sides of the vehicle. I'm thinking, rather than risk it, we take off one end of this steering link and drop it, and that should allow enough room to remove the radius arms on both sides. Okay, so while the big rattle gun works good for the rear and the chassis connections, it isn't going to do it for this. Oh, not even my immensely muscular and powerful frame can budge it. I'm going to have to try another trick. Alright, so I hope this works. We've got a knuckle on there. Right, let's take the knuckle off, see if we can get a straight shot. It's not perfect, but let's see what we can do. Okay, and on the other, no such luck. So I can't get a straight shot through on this back one here. The brake caliper, I think, might have to come off. So let's remove this line for the wheel sensor to get it out of the way. We have a 3/4 inch bi-hex socket that'll fit onto that rather large, nasty bolt. This will be on tight. So, how do we get a straight shot? Alright, so now we get a straight shot. Oh, close enough. Oh. Yeah, there we go. With these extensions on, it seems to suck up some of the punch. But I didn't realise that without the brake caliper on, I can get a straight shot with this guy here. And yeah, it came off straight away. I'm starting to get a nice little collection of tools and nuts and bolts and nicks and knacks gathering there on the floor. Anyway, we'll try and get all these bolts out, and that should release our radius arm. regards to pushing out our bushes, we do have a few options. We have the inner part of a bearing race, and if we put that over there, check it out, that actually looks like it's going to be too tight a fit. So I'm not sure if that'll work, but we can always give it a try. In the off chance it does not, we have our hub nut wrench off a Land Rover, and if we put that over there, that looks like it might work. So let's just send up a prayer for that one. Now, of course, those two are the same. We turn it over and have a look at the chassis bush. Okay, so what do we have for that? We have this, which I'm not sure what that is actually. Come from off of something somewhere. If we put that over there, that looks pretty close. Now, just in the off chance that it doesn't work, we have slightly smaller in diameter. This is a distance piece. We put that there. You can see that also fits. We have a bush out of a Series 1 gearbox. Put that there. And then we have another thing that we can stick there. Bugger. Right, so what we got going on here is the piece we pressed in is a press fit in itself, which means that we're going to have to press it out again anyway, but we've got movement, which is important. So we're going to stick that there, stick that there, and then we're going to give it a good coating of WD-40 to make it slimy. And we're going to press it back through. Nothing comes easy. Okay, so as we inspect our thing, we can see in the holes some corrosion I'd like to get rid of with some WD-40 and some fine grained sandpaper. Now, this is not the job for a brute. Okay, we're just looking to give it a polish, if you like. Then I'd like to come through with a small fine file and just chip away at the edges there, looking for burrs. This is once again a very gentle procedure, and we're not looking to scratch on the inside, just on the very edges, and you can sometimes feel those burrs. They'll grab your file. Now that we've got all this nice and clean, we have here our brand new chassis bushes. We're going to start with the harder ones first, and these are poly bushes. Okay? We're upgrading. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. We can go there. We can go there. Alright, this is a terrifying moment. See if we can squeeze it in. It's got to be dead straight. Going in. Beautiful thing. Right, now we've got the hard one done. Okay. These ones should be much easier. So I believe Polybush is an actual brand, and I think the name has become a little synonymous with this product, a little like Esky for a cool box. Anyway, that's what we're going to stick in. So we're going to pop one in there. Oh, nice. And one in there. Beauty. Turn it over. Now, it's important to note that while the bushes that connect to the chassis all share the same part number on all four of the radius arms, front and back for the axle attachments, not. So front and back are different part numbers for where they connect to the axle. One goes in there, goes in there, and somewhere in our little bag of tricks should be some tubes. You can find them. All right, let's see if we can put it back together. As for our third bolt hole, you can see it doesn't line up. What I suspect's happened is the differential and the axle have pivoted downwards a little bit. I think if we get a jack under the nose of it, lift it a little, and we'll see where we are from there. Radius arm is attached. So we haven't done the nuts and bolts up tight, we've just taken the slack out of them. That torquing down to spec, so to speak, that has to be done once the weight of the vehicle is on the bushes. Now we still have to do the other side, of course. Now there are a few things in here I'm seeing that I'm not quite happy with, but we want to stay on topic, so I'm going to loosely reassemble everything so I can take it apart again later on and maybe do a follow-up video. So we're going to reattach the drag link and the tie rod. And then we're going to put on the brake caliper and get all that ready. And then we'll put on our front wheel. From this point on, once we install the bushes on the opposing radius arm, then we can replace the final wheel of the vehicle and prepare ourselves for the grand finale. Just because a man's operating on a budget doesn't mean he can't give himself an extreme makeover and become beautiful. All right, here we are under the truck with our torque wrench. Brand new nylock nuts on the thingamajig, and the weight is on the suspension. The torque settings are 170 foot-pounds, which is more than what my wrench will do. Mine's set up for 150. But, you know, we'll do what we can. Finish it off with the breaker bar. Oh, this should be it. Okay. Yeah. Breaker bar attached. And a smidgen more. Yeah, 5 to go. But I can see you getting jealous. Me lying there on the ground in my filthy coveralls on the hard concrete, and you want to get out there in your own garage and wallow beneath your own Land Rover discovery too. So I'm going to let you go. I'll carry on with the other ones. And in the next episode, we're going to be doing panhard rods and sway bars. So I'll see you then.